going to be a guy with me while I share my experience of studying Chinese in Benin Republic in a French school as a Nigerian or as an English speaker. So without further ado, let's just get straight into today's video. So I'm going to be starting out with my Iman makeup. So I'm going to be starting out with the Iman makeup foundation. I use two foundation. So I'm going to be starting with the Iman makeup foundation. Like I said, I use the Fit Me foundation in color 330, but since I ran out of it, I'm going to be using the classic Iman makeup, and it works the same way. With this foundation, a little really goes a long way, so just be careful. So with my Chinese experience, I started learning Chinese 2019 before the coronavirus. The first time I thought about learning Chinese, it was during 2016. I had a friend, my sister had a friend that had a sister that was studying the same course here in Benin Republic, and that was the first time I heard anything about Chinese. I got really interested in learning Chinese, but since the Chinese wasn't that popular, it was already just getting popular, nobody really took me seriously. So fast forward to 2019, my mom saw this her friend that was learning Chinese and spoke really good, and the value in Chinese started getting richer and richer. So Chinese started getting really popular. It started getting really known. So my mom was like, "Oh, let's do Chinese now." I was like, "Okay, no problem," because I still actually didn't even know what to do at that particular period. So we went on with the processes. For certain reasons, I couldn't start because I remember vividly that I intended on starting on 2019, but because of certain reasons, I couldn't go by 2019. So I started this Chinese program, which was twice in a day. Before that, I started it, which was twice in a day. So this program was twice in a day, and I remember that I would go on Mondays and on Thursdays, and that gave me a really, because before then I didn't even know anything about Chinese, but I'm really grateful I had to go through those things because it actually helped me a whole lot more. So 2020, the coronavirus started and everything Chinese was put on hold. Yes, because we were all at home doing nothing. But then I was still planning on my paper because I had to go follow a certain way to start the school. So I was still planning on my paper. That's 2020-ish, ending of 2020, and I started fully as a university, as a bachelor's degree by 2020 November. So 2 years today. So I started fully by 2020 November. It is a whole experience. Like, I'm not even kidding. So starting 2020, it was really a hustle. Yes, before then I knew that I was going to be using French, because even in the program I was going for, we were using French to have the whole classes, but it was more challenging starting as a bachelor's degree holder than just a normal program. It was super challenging. The first thing I experienced was a crazy culture shock. And I know people will be like, "Oh, you lived all your life here, it shouldn't be that bad," but it was that bad. Like, I'm not even kidding, it was so bad. The culture shock I experienced was really bad. Like, I don't even know. There was just differences in reasoning, differences in attitude towards life and everything. And wow, it was crazy. It even took me up until second year to actually get really comfortable, because throughout my first year I just had this mentality that I did not belong here. I didn't get used to the whole environment, I didn't get used to the thing, and I found it really challenging during first year with the French courses, because then there were certain things I could not relate to. There were certain jokes I could not relate to. But then the only thing that got me through was like I found Chinese really interesting. Yes, I found Chinese really interesting to do. Like I was not even bothered about what was happening, the environment I was in, the whole course and everything was just like, okay, I could do this. And for the fact that I could do this, and the best thing was that I was really excelling in my studies, right? I was super excited. What? I was super exceeding in my studies, so that made things easier. It didn't really feel like, okay, so I don't understand the language and I'm not getting the course, so that doesn't mean I don't belong here. No, I was exceeding in my studies and I was like, okay, fine. Since studies is going great, I just need to have some getting used to. Do you know the worst thing that happened in my class? Like in first year at that period, I was the only Nigerian. Yeah, I was the only Nigerian. I envied people in second year or in third year that time that was like two or three. I was like, God, why were we not just two or three? Why is it just me? I'm just applying my concealer. I prefer to use her to just apply everything. So at that particular point, I was like, oh, why was I not three? Why weren't we just two? Why don't I have anybody to just communicate with at that time? It was frustrating. Heaven knows. But over and over, the one thing I'm super grateful for till this very moment, till this very time, is that I had really, 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 really amazing teachers. Like my lecturers, they're amazing. They are super amazing. Like in my next life, I would love to have them because those people were patient, they were kind, they never made me feel like, oh, we didn't belong here. Even my classmates was nice, are nice to know us. They are still really nice. They are still people. They were people. They are people, not past tense. There are people that just made me feel welcome, that just made me feel included, that didn't make me feel like, okay, oh, you're different from us. No, they would look for a way, they will struggle, they will go out of their own way to just put me, to just help me understand. I even remember some that if I had a mental breakdown in class, they would just chat me up and be like, oh, do you understand this class? I could help you explain. Like, they were sweet. They're still really sweet, so I'm grateful. Thinking about it now, I am genuinely super grateful to all of them because they didn't really make me feel like I should quit. Then I fast forward to second year. Like people will ask me, do you think Chinese is difficult? And I'll be like, oh, that's a really, really, really crazy question because I won't say Chinese is difficult. No, Chinese is not difficult. Mm-mm. It's just, do you want to study Chinese? Do you want to learn Chinese? Because it's just like everything in life. It's like everything in life. You have to put an effort. So, and for someone that studied Chinese in a French country, and it's cliche, but I feel like Chinese is a lot more easier than learning French. I know people are going to be like, no, 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 no. But seriously, English is the closest to Chinese in translation. So the whole thing you know in English, just put it back in Chinese. That's just the easiest I can explain to you about Chinese. That's just the easiest I can explain to you about Chinese. Everything you know in English, just put it back in Chinese. So Chinese is not really difficult. It's not simple. It's not difficult. The question is, do you want to learn Chinese? And whatever answer you have in your mind, that determines if you're going to succeed there or not. And that is not to say that, okay, oh, to study Chinese is a bed of roses. No. Especially now in 300 level, like there are so there are so many things that just don't make sense. Everything I thought I knew about Chinese is just breaking down right now. Not to even talk of we started this class in 300 level where I just, it's a literature class. To think I'm someone who really loved literature in secondary school, coming now to realize that literature is not the same thing. There are times where you just mentally break down, like, what am I doing here? But the fact that you really want to do this just helps it a lot more better. So I just did my eyebrows off camera so it doesn't drag the video too long. But back to the school. It's really crazy to see how far studying Chinese has become, because then back in those days, like, if you tell people, oh, I'm studying Chinese, they're like, what are you going to use Chinese to do? Why would you study Chinese? I'm Igbo, so studying Chinese is like what you want to do with it. It's just like you're studying Igbo. But now Chinese has gotten so good. Like, if you tell people you're studying Chinese, they're like, oh wow, that's super impressive. And it's actually really cool to see how it has gone so far. If you don't know, I'm in 300 here studying Chinese, and by the mercy and the grace of God, I will be graduating next year between June July, by the grace of God. So honestly speaking, I am so scared. I am so scared of what's gonna happen after then. Like, what's gonna happen? This is my one biggest fear I've been experiencing. Like, most times I'm in class, I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Like, not in the aspect of speaking Chinese, but like, I cannot even explain the feeling. Honestly speaking, I just cannot explain the feeling. But I know the best way to round it up is like fear. It's like fear of, okay, what next? It's a fear of what next. I know changes are always scary and all that stuff, but but don't let me confuse you. If you actually have an intention to learn Chinese, or you have it in your mind to do anything related to Chinese, believe me, Chinese is a really interesting subject. Like, the fun thing about learning it in my school, I don't know how it is done anywhere else, but my school, you just don't learn only about Chinese, you about it as a language, but you also learn about it as a culture, geography. I know it's simple, easier said than done, but having all those experience, all those knowledge about not just Chinese as a language, but also China as a country, really just shape your belief. Like, it gives you a better understanding of why you are here, and for you to just understand. Sometimes I feel like I know China more than I know Nigeria, my country, and I don't think I'm even ashamed of it, right? I went to school for it, so I'm not ashamed of it. But I'm really not ashamed of it. But having all those knowledge about China, having all those knowledge about the people, the country, the food, every single thing really just makes you appreciate the language more. So when you just say, I'm studying Chinese, I'm not just studying Chinese. I know these people. I know the way of life. I know their way of life. I know most certain things you won't just know. So back to the courses we've been learning. Like I said, I'm in 300 level, and we started learning this course, translation course. Honestly, this course has been like my favorite course, and this 300 years in my final year. Like, I don't know what it is about this course, but learning it just gives me this calmness. It gives me this calmness because I don't know. Since learning Chinese, I've always been like that person that just tries to translate things immediately. I'm going to see something on the road and I just want to translate it ASAP. And learning this course, this is what I say about not just learning the language. Learning this course has brought a wider definition about translating. It's not just say what you see. It's like there are more deeper meaning, there are more deeper connections about translating. And unfolding that little by little has just been so beautiful. Like, I love the class. I love the lecturer in charge of the courses. Like, I love all my lecturers, but I love the lecturer in charge of the course because there's just a way he carries his course. That just, you can't just help but love it. You can't just help but love it. Yeah, that is it. And also, one thing I'm grateful for about being in this school, it's because it gave me the boldness to start my YouTube channel. Like, I wanted to start a YouTube channel by 2020, but then I felt like I did not have content to put out there for you guys. But starting this school and the experience that came with it, I was like, okay, I basically started this YouTube channel for my future self because I would watch people videos and I was like, okay, in 5 years later, I want to see the experience I got, the experience this school gave to me. So I was like, okay, since I can just film a daily life about going to school every day, and I didn't care because 5 years later, I know, or I knew that I would want to see it. So I'm genuinely grateful. Yeah, I am grateful. Like, I am honestly super grateful. I don't say this enough, but I am honestly super grateful for every experiences that came with going to the school. Like, it has been a roller coaster of emotions. Like, some days I feel sad, some days I feel alone, some days I feel like, oh, why don't I have friends? I wish I have friends, this and that and this and that. Or the way I planned going to school was not the same way it ended up, but I feel like I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, I honestly would not have it any other way because there were so many experiences, so many, a lot of things that just came with going to the school. And I feel like if I had done it any other way, it would not have been here. I met so many amazing people here. So many amazing people here. So I am truly, truly grateful for the experience. I am truly grateful for the learning process. I am truly grateful for everything. And in this final year, which is the last year of me being here, I want to make something's right, which number one should be speaking. Like, it's crazy. But ever since starting the school, I feel like, okay, I've been shy. I'm not perfect in my Chinese, true, but I've not really given myself the opportunity to show if I'm actually perfect or not. If you get what I mean. I've not really given myself that opportunity to show if I'm even perfect or not. Right? It's just like I get so afraid to speak, right? I get so afraid to speak, like I'm not saying the things right, I'm not doing the things right, and I feel like that has hindered me a lot. But am I changing it? No, because of fear. Because I'm afraid of saying the wrong things. I'm afraid of saying things I know what it. Oh my god, this is 20 minutes and I'm still blabbing. But if you are learning a language, whether Chinese or not, in whatever country you are in whatever language you are learning, the one thing I'm going to advise you, please don't be like me. Speak. It doesn't matter. Even if you're saying the wrong thing, I know it's easier to give an advice and actually do it, because I don't do it myself. There are certain things that I would know, but I am just so afraid of saying it. I get so anxious, filled with anxiety. But before this year ends, actually, since I actually don't have a lot of time, I have challenged myself to speak more often. Even if I'm saying the wrong thing, I've just challenged myself to just speak more often. Like, even if I'm saying the wrong thing, I just want to speak. So it helps me create a second brain in my head, a second brain for Chinese. So I will not have to always try to translate things word for word in English, what saying it in Chinese. I just have to speak. So if you're a language learner anywhere in the world watching this video, I challenge you today to speak, whether on phone, whether on text message, whether with your teachers, your peers, anybody. Just go out there and say something. It does not have to be perfect at all. It does not have to be perfect. Just go there and say, I'm actually using an highlighter. I've been loving this highlighter. Like, it just makes your face pop. Just the exact word. It just gives you this glow, like the glow, like I'm not doing so much, but I'm still doing something, and I know you see it. I'm breaking my eyes here. You see that, right? Oh, it's popping. I love it. I love the highlighter. Okay, this here. This is the difference. Like, it just makes it pop. I love it. I really love it, and I love to use my hands to do it. This way it gives me a lot of precision and control, because there's a way you're going to do it, you will just not like it. So keep that in mind. So I just felt like I came up here to just rant about certain things, but anyways, I just felt like this is not how I actually wanted the video to go. Anyways, I do hope you guys love this video anyways, and if you like it, please also let me know in the comment section below. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, okay? Subscribe, please. Thank you so much. Anyways, if you're a language learner anywhere around the world, please also share your experience with me in the comment section. Or if you're just a learner of anything, not just language, just literally anything, share your experience in the comment section below, okay? I'm using this lipstick. This is my favorite lip combo. This two. This is the lip lush, but I just put it on this part of my lips, right now, and I would use this one just like top of it to just match everything in. Yeah. So if you love videos like this, please let me know in the comment section below, and also like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so very much for watching the video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye, and God bless you.